Okay, thanks for staying for the presentation. Hopefully I won't take the full 20 minutes, so we'll get you back on track, Gillian. So I'm here to talk about productivity, why it's important, and the work that SCDI and the productivity clubs are doing to support businesses in terms of their productivity. Since the creation of the project, the first question that everyone asks me is, what is productivity? And actually my response is quite simple. Productivity means different things to different people and different groups. But I've put a definition up here which I think encapsulates some of our thinking around it. There was some recent research undertaken by the University of Strathclyde, and the academics leading the project found that all of the businesses surveyed defined and measured productivity in different ways. But regardless of how we define productivity, it's important. It's important to the job you do, to the business you work for, but more importantly, it's important to society. Just some background statistics on productivity. The UK has a long-standing productivity challenge. Even before the financial crisis, the UK was on average 13% lower than the other G7 countries. This has been exacerbated by the unusually weak productivity growth since the financial crisis, and this is what's called the productivity puzzle. In 2016, Scotland was ranked 19th out of 36 countries for productivity. That placed Scotland in the third quartile, and Scottish Government are continuing to aim for us to be within the top quartile. And here's the reason why. Productivity affects everything. If we can increase our productivity in businesses and organisations, wages would be higher, we'd have more money to spend on our public services, and we'd have more money in our pockets. A recent article found that wages are on average £5,000 lower due to low productivity than they would be if we'd stayed on the same trajectory as 10 years ago. And I don't know about the rest of you, but £5,000 in my wages would be gratefully accepted. So what does this mean for your business? Well, if you increase productivity, you can increase your competitiveness, win more business, and be more profitable. But productivity doesn't just mean automation or robots. There are a number of themes that we address through the productivity clubs. So employee engagement, for example, is one. Productive employees are happy employees, and happy employees are productive. It's found that workers that are happy are between 12 and 20% more productive. Investment is another theme. So it's reported that businesses that consistently invest in research and development are 13% more productive than firms that don't. But what does this mean for procurement and supplying to the public sector, which is why everyone is here today? Well, the UK Government, Scottish Government and the public sector as a whole are beginning to focus on measures to increase productivity. Through the work of the club, we're engaging with a number of organisations across all sectors. And an interesting example is the work undertaken by Scottish Water, who incidentally are here today. They are leading a drive to increase their productivity, not just within their organisation, but they are actually placing people within their prime contractors to focus on their productivity. They've established a dedicated team, and through the work that they're doing with their supply chain, they've now shortened the timescales of their projects. They can now deliver a project in 6 weeks, which was previously taking 7 weeks. That's a considerable saving. Imagine what you could do if you could deliver your projects a week early. As a buyer, they're now focusing on their supply chain and how productivity can be written into their specifications and their requirements. They have already started doing this, and their large tranche of contracts that they will be putting out in 2021 will focus on productivity. It will have KPIs based on productivity alongside innovation, continuous improvement, and all of the other types of questions that Owen was talking about previously in his presentation. But this is only the beginning. If Scottish Water are starting to do it, you might start to see that in other public sector contracts. And you need to consider, as a supplier, how you would answer a question relating to productivity. So that's where the productivity clubs come in. Just for some context, I work for SCDI, who manage and run the productivity clubs. So SCDI is an independent economic development network which transforms social and economic challenges into opportunities, driving inclusive and sustainable growth. The membership is uniquely drawn from public and private sector, and alongside the work we do to influence public policy, we also host networking and engagement events. We're the leading economic inclusive development network, and we represent all sectors and all geographies in Scotland. Here are some of the recent publications that we've done, and the one in the middle is our blueprint. It's a 10-year policy strategy for Scotland, which is informed by research and our members' views, face-to-face interviews and online surveys. The blueprint in 2015 highlighted productivity as the key challenge for the Scottish economy, and it needed to be tackled head-on if we were to make successful progress, and it recommended some key actions for government. As a spin-out and as a result, Scottish Government committed to supporting a 2-year pilot to develop and run business-led productivity clubs in partnership with us, and we launched the programme in August. The aim of the project is simple. It's to create a network for businesses to engage with their peers, to support and draw on experiences and overcome similar challenges. Every organisation has a challenge to productivity. It's just identifying and recognising what that is, and the clubs can help. To date, we have almost 1,000 businesses who have registered, and we've run 3 events based in Glasgow and Edinburgh. The current activities are business case studies and reflections from those attending. However, the programme will develop as the pilot develops. There's a number of themes that we're covering, including leadership and management, technological change, employee engagement and scale-up. An example of some of the businesses we've had is Victor Pizza, who's spoken about a change in one member of staff that led to a doubling their output. So there was no additional expenditure, one change to staff, and they doubled their production. The use of technology within an organisation. Peak Scientific spoke about the digitalisation of a paper process, and that led to a 90% reduction in the time taken to report faults, which increased production time. And all of this, again, was done with no additional expenditure, pure productivity gains. Here are some of, this is just some pictures from the club that have taken place. And here are some of the comments from the people who have come along and engaged in the project already. So finally, to say that the clubs are free to join, the events are free to attend. And if you're looking for further information, the website is productivity.scot. SCDI and productivity clubs also have a stand in the exhibition hall. And if you'd like some more information, please come and see us or contact me directly. I hope to see you at the productivity clubs soon. Thank you.